Excuse me. Hello and welcome to another exciting Breakfast with Unity. I'm your host, Max Moreau, and today we're going to be playing around with the image effects that we now have available to everybody. Unity 5.0 now has pretty much every editor feature available to the public in the free version, so we're going to be going through more of that. We've done a couple things this week on that front, and we're doing some more right now. So there's not going to be a whole lot of huge megaton information from a learning perspective on this episode. If there's the most important stuff is what I'm going to go over right now, which is how to get the full screen effects stuff installed. So you would go into import package and then choose effects here, but some people actually have had trouble with this not actually having anything in it. So if you have that problem, go to Unity 3D's website, go get Unity 5, choose free download, and then instead of clicking download installer, go to additional downloads. This will say whatever your operating system is, and choose standard assets. This is what you want to install. If you already have it installed, this installer is supposed to include it, I think, but I've had some people had trouble with it. So if you don't see anything in your assets import package menu, this is where to go. Standard assets right here. All right. So now that that's out of the way. What I've got here is a very basic scene that I just threw together in a few minutes before the show started, and it just has some stuff in it so that we can see maybe some effects of the full screen stuff. I'm actually going to very quickly create a couple materials just to make all these things different colors. I'm just going to make a red, green, and blue. We're just going to do red, green, and blue. And we're just going to make them red, green, and blue, respectively. Oh, whoops, this is green. By the way, I'm excited for tomorrow too, because we're going to be playing with the real-time global illumination stuff, and I've been impressed with what they've got there. It's really cool stuff. There's a couple tricks for working with it though, so that one's going to be a trickier episode. So I'm just going to do just go ahead and go red, green, blue, left to right here. Just red, green, and blue. So we're going to go into Assets, Import Package, and we're going to grab Effects. And we're just going to import this, just grab out all of it. Hopefully I'm broadcasting and everything. Looks like I am. Good. All right. Audio is working? Yeah. All right. I figured I'd check while there's a progress screen bar on the screen. So now we have some stuff here. Most of this shows up in Image Effects. And Image Effects has a lot of different sections for things, and we're just going to kind of go through and play around with them. We might even make an auto switcher thing so that we can do like a sampler type thing, but we'll see how we feel. So screen overlay, I don't know what this is, but let's see, screen overlay, blend mode. So this allows you to overlay a texture on the screen, so if we had like... let's see what we got for texture. I've got like a really bad noise texture here. So this overlays this noise texture onto the screen, and you can adjust through it. I'm kind of weird. It's kind of weird how it really blends on the top and bottom there. But yeah, so this is just a very simple way to overlay a texture. Remove component. Let's see, bloom and glow. Bloom is always fun. So I'm going to go with regular bloom. We're going to just play around with some of the values. So bloom typically works best with HDR rendering. And we're going to now, let's see, quality high, sure, why not? Let's go complex and see what we can play with. So we've got intensity, we've got threshold. So threshold, if you lower it, it will make more things glow out. It's basically the color threshold that this bloom operates at. Intensity is how much bloom you get when you apply it. All this stuff is, of course, real time. So, like, if we move objects around, this stuff will appropriately affect it. It's actually doing a per pixel effect on the screen on the render after the render's done. So you've got like lens flares. We can do like combined, and we can, let's see, local intensity. I don't know what this does. Oh yeah, this gives us more. This gives us some nice Abrams flares here. So yeah, if you want to make things look like the bridge of an Enterprise, these settings look like they might work. I mean, you can't really see anything, but you can't really see anything on the Enterprise nowadays either. So yeah, so this is a nice one. Bloom is one of those effects. Most people who work in the industry, when I showed them Unity, most people who are in the art side of things, the first thing they wanted to do was add Bloom. Because they're like, Bloom just covers up so many problems, and it makes things look a lot better and smoother and stuff. And the first thing they were like, wait, you need Pro for Bloom? Well, that sucks. Well, you don't need Pro for Bloom anymore, so add it to your projects. It will help things. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this component. I don't know why it slid over there, but oh well. So let's see what else we've got to play with. There's probably a lot of stuff that we can't really use that much. Oh, camera motion blur, that's kind of cool. So if we do camera motion blur, this one will actually probably require some motion to happen. It will probably have to be running for it to be... Oh, what's it doing? I've got a beach ball. Should have saved. Alright. Didn't expect to crash when playing around with full screen effects, but I guess I should always expect to crash everywhere in everything. Let's see what we got. This is not the level. This was another thing I was playing around with. Full screen effects. Well, at least we have our cube cylinder and stuff. Do these colors still work? Find out. Red. No. Green. And blue. They're called new material. That's weird. They should be called red. Huh. I don't trust it. I'm getting rid of these. I think they didn't save properly. So I'm just going to really quickly do that again. Sorry. Create material. Red. There we go. Now the names match. Red, green, blue. Most boring part of the show, and we're doing it twice. Yay! Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. And one more. Should just do pink because that's already there. No. So red, green, blue. And I'm going to save and save project. Alright, so now we should be okay. So let's try that again. So we're going to go to the main camera. Let's see if this one crashes every time. Camera motion blur. Yay, it worked that time. So in this case, this is not going to be individual object motion blur. This is just going to be based on camera movement. So if we hit play here and we rotate the camera or something similar to that. So once this thing starts going, come on. Okay, my computer does not love the motion blur, it seems. I gotta get Crash Reporter on that. That would be nice, so I can send that to Unity. Oh well. Alright, we're skipping that one. But in theory, if it was working, and if it's working on your machine, which it might be, you would be playing around with motion on the object so that you could see the blur effect. So let's just skip that and go to something else. So effects. What else do we have to play with? So we've got actually just a blur. Oh wait, I wonder what. So if we do this, this is just like a looking through a lens type blur. And you can change the number of iterations. One iteration, you can just kind of see how this effect is actually done. The way this is actually done is, whoops, one iteration. Obviously it's ignoring my -10. What it's doing is it's taking the render of the full scene and then it's lowering the resolution of it. And if you do multiple iterations, it does it twice and then blends them together. And then you can change the amount of spread. You can actually see the effect very easily when you make the spread really high too. So, but yeah, so this is useful if you want to look like you're blind. So let's close this one. Let's see what we got else to deal with here. Image effects. So motion blur color accumulation. I don't know what that means. I wonder if that actually means. Well, this blurs ahead of time, even when we're not moving, it looks like. Okay, so extra blur makes it so it just blurs all the time. So if I hit play right now, I'm just curious, if I move a block, assuming everything's working, it looks like it is. So if I move the cube, does it actually blur? It does, ooh. Oh, this is old school motion blur, sweet. So yeah, this allows you to get kind of a dreamy effect going on, where it basically clears to semi-transparent as it moves around. This is kind of what I'd call this is the PlayStation 1/N64 generation motion blur. They used this especially a lot in Metal Gear Solid, or something similar to this in Metal Gear Solid 1. So let's go to the main camera. So that's a cool one. That's useful. That's the kind of effect that you wouldn't have all the time. You would want to accent things with it. Obviously, it's a little bit over the top for just a single scene for a while. But if you turn it on and off using animation, that would help with things. So depth of field, lens blur scattered to DX11. I have a feeling this is not going to work on my machine, considering I'm not a DX11 person. Let's find out, though. Oh, it does something. So depth of field, the way this works, I'm going to actually have to change some things real quick here. Let's make the sphere... Let's put the cube forward. Actually, let's put the sphere forward. The sphere we're going to put a little bit closer to the camera, -3, -1, 2. And then we're going to put 1.5 is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to put the cylinder back a little. We're going to put this at positive 1.5. So what this does is it actually allows you to... blur based on a focal distance. So if we set the focal distance closer, the sphere is in focus and other things become out of focus. And if we set it further back, it changes other ways. So 1.5 back, or 1.5 puts us right on the sphere. If we do like -1.5, I'm not sure. Actually, maybe negative's not a... So wait, 1.5... And then if we do 3, yeah, they're the cubes in focus. And if we were to do 4.5, the other things in focus. The other thing is you can do focus on transform. So if we create like a empty game object here, and we just set at 0, 0, 0, we can, I'm going to bring this over to this right so we can see things going at the same time. So we can have the camera focus on this object. And then when this object changes position, so if we slide it through, it affects the focus of everything else based on where it's at. So if it's on the sphere, it'll look like the sphere is in focus. And so this is useful if you want to have like a character in focus when everything else is not in focus. Generally, you don't want to do too much depth of field when you're playing around with stuff, but this is a really cool effect. It really simulates cameras nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this game object, pull this back over here, and we're going to remove this depth of field effect. So what else do we have to play around with? I think I'm not going to go over an auto switcher thing on the show, but I think I'm going to update this project afterwards so that when you open this scene, it'll just cycle through different effects. Tilt shift, this is... not sure exactly what tilt shift does. I remember it's good for making things look very small, but I don't know what the trick is to make that happen. Tilt shift mode, quality, normal. I think it blurs like top versus bottom, or top and bottom versus middle. So if we were to, say, move the camera up and then look down, it can kind of, if I'm not mistaken, it kind of makes things, gives the illusion of macro lens problems, which is which generally makes things look smaller just because we're used to the way lenses operate. And I could be wrong about that. Maybe I know tilt shift can be used for that. It can be used for a lot of things, but it's just a different type of blur effect. So let's go ahead and switch this off again and move this back to 0 and 0. All right, so what else do we have that's fun? So color correction, this requires its own episode because there's a lot to this. 3D lookup texture is probably the most useful one, but it's also the hardest one to use. You kind of have to play around with Photoshop and stuff, so we'll probably deal with that another time. But color correction is what gives you a lot of... If you've ever seen previews of movies, like if you've ever seen the making of movies where they record the scene and everything looks like it's people in a room recording a scene, and then they show the final version of the shot and everything looks like a movie. Color correction is what does that. So they basically pull all the colors into exactly what they want and pull the scene to look how they want, darken things and brighten things and stuff like that. I don't know why you would need contrast enhance. I guess that creates edge glow kind of stuff. That's kind of cool. You can really overdo it too. Oh yeah, that looks awful. Also looks kind of cool. But yeah, that's probably not going to be a go-to effect for anyone. Edge detection. What does edge detection do? Oh, sweet! We can get edges on objects, and you can even change it to edge only. Oh, that's neato. So if we're just running the game here, there's a lot of good built-in effects. I didn't realize how many. I didn't realize what they had going on here. I don't think my computer likes running this. What are my stats? No, it's still running pretty fast. I don't know why it feels like it's running slow. Must just be me. If we change it to a mix again. Okay, it's just because of how I'm moving the object, it looks slow. So cool. I like that. Yeah, just making sure. Alright. So let's get rid of that one again, because I just realized I was doing all that in play mode. Remove component. Oh, I changed my... Hold on. I had changed this. Someone complained about the color on the thing. It was just too bright red, and I made it kind of a lighter, pinker thing. But evidently when we crashed that one time, we got rid of that, so I'm just going to turn it more peach now. So that should now allow you to see things a lot better. Sorry about that. Let me save scene, save project. So, what else we got now? Also, another thing to note, we're actually getting batching happening, which is nice, just because we're using the standard shader, and the standard shader is everywhere, and you can use it for a lot of things and make a lot of effects on it. So, if you have textures and stuff, it may not batch exactly. So, at least I think that's why we're getting some batching. So, what else we got? We got fisheye, twirl. Oh yeah, the classic twirl. You gotta love the twirl. This is like, reminds me of the Windows 3.5 day or 3.1 days. No, later than that. Sorry, Windows 95 days. I don't know why I was saying that. And where you had that like screensaver that would twist things. Yeah, we can twist things. Yay. Yay, fun stuff. A lot of cool stuff in here. Find ways to use it. It's just nice that we have access to it. We will write our own at some point too. I just wanted to give some examples of what we've got here. Ooh, sun shafts. How does this work? So if we have our camera, how does this actually work? Where is our directional light? Our directional light is pointed that way. Let's actually point it kind of the opposite way. I'm going to just rotate it around and see if we can get some sun shafts coming in. I'm not sure exactly how this works. So if we go to main camera, blur size. Oh, sun shafts. There we go. You can see this. It's very light right now. Let's see if we can make it less light. So we get these edge glows off of the objects as they block light coming in on them. So this is how you get kind of the God ray type effects on things. So sweet. Let's put that directional light back up to 330. And let's see what else we got here. Anything else that's cool? Global fog, screen space ambience, occlusion. This might be useful. Whoops, I put this on very much the wrong thing. This needs to go on the camera. As a matter of fact, it created a new camera on the light. That's what happened there. So if you add these to something that's not a camera, it will try to make it a camera. So keep that in mind. So what are we doing? Edge, color adjustments, edge detection. There we go. Screen space ambient occlusion. I'm not sure how noticeable this will be until we put our objects very close together. But basically what this does is it's for simulating the kind of shadowing that you get from objects being close to each other and blocking the light that bounces. This is probably less important these days now that we have access to their global illumination system, which we're going to be going over tomorrow, because global illumination kind of handles actual bounce lighting and stuff. Well, not actual, but simulated. And it's really cool. I can't wait to actually go into that because once I got it working today, I was going to do that today, and then I had trouble actually getting it working, and then I got it working after I changed the name of this episode to image effects. So was there anything else that I really want to show? So there's like noise and grain. I don't know why that changed our. Oh yeah, I did it again. Gotta not do that. I keep adding cameras to objects that shouldn't be cameras. So image effects, noise. So this gives you that kind of like film grain view, and I think it has some life to it. So if we hit play, there we go. I'm not sure how well you can see this on the YouTube video, considering it's very light. But yeah, we get like nice film grain effects, and we can make it much harsher. You could use this as a method for determining how much health you have left in a game if you wanted to. So you could have it like, as you get hit, you just become more staticky and stuff. Have fun with this stuff. Experiment. Also, I don't know how fast some of this stuff is on mobile, so definitely play around if you're targeting mobile. Test on mobile. So anyway, I think that's enough of just a little explore around. Definitely play around yourself too. I'm gonna leave this on. I'm going to remove this ambient occlusion, and I'm going to add, let's see, what's a good one? What was my favorite? Definitely going to go with bloom. We're going to go the Abrams bloom and just have that as our default. So, complex, we want anamorphic, and we want some serious anamorphic lens flare. Yeah, that's what we're going to save this as. Save project. Cool. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions, please email me, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire, that's DRAKFYRE. And enjoy Unity 5. And if you can, please donate. Patreon.com/cookingwithunity. We really can use your help. Thank you very much. You guys have a great one. And I'll catch you tomorrow with real-time global illumination and a new episode of Scape. Alright, let's see what the comments have to say. View on watch page. We have audio. Sneeze. Bloom Glow, yes, I believe it is usable. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but I think I have had it run on mobile okay. Definitely test, and also when you're doing that, I would recommend using the cheap quality, and keep the where is it? Probably don't want HDR either in the case of Oh, I see. We didn't get HDR anyway, but even when we turned it on because we had anti-aliasing on. But I would avoid HDR. I would switch it to cheap, and I would make the blur iterations as low as you can stand to go. All of those will really dramatically affect your frame rate on mobile. So if you're using this on mobile, definitely try that. But I do believe the effect works. I swear that I've used it before. Doesn't work with multiple cameras. How do you mean with multiple cameras? Like what's your setup for the multiple cameras? If you're still here, Hired Gun Games. Go ahead and type that in while I'm going through the rest of these responses. Good morning, everyone. Cinecat, see you all the time. It's awesome. Actually, I see a lot of people. Lone Deer, Dan Tower, Vortex. Yeah, we got the usual suspects going on here. Nice HL2 screen start effect. Yep. Good old blur. I frequently catch them post broadcasts. Well, I'm glad that you caught it live this time as well, and I'm glad that you catch them post broadcasts. The point is to have the information out there. Live is just a bonus. So, visualize feature on depth of field is cool to gauge the settings. I haven't checked that. I will have to look at that. Yeah. Apply every full screen effects at once. All the effects. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Tilt, shift, twist your area in focus. You need an angle on your objects. Train stations look like a diorama. Alright. Noise and scratches. All those Unity 4 Pro, yeah, exactly. All those Unity Pro 4 users had all this cool stuff I didn't even know about. That's the main reason I'm doing this episode, because I know that you can just go through and just see the effects, but like I want to show that there's cool stuff in there. So, I'm slightly biased, but the Vortex one is pretty cool. Yep, Vortex Interactive, I'm sure. Let's twist again. You still need AO. Enlighten works at a very large scale. AO works at a small scale. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Ambient occlusion is something I'm gonna be honest with you. My computer, I typically turn it off in any game that comes out just because it saves me a lot of processing power on my computer. So, and it doesn't really affect the overall quality in my mind very much. I love Sonic Ether's stuff, by the way, so I will check out what he's working on. He has by far the best glow system that I've seen. It's just really beautiful. We showed it on one of the shows on Scape, actually. I have one camera in the scene for the main and having another in the scene for depth. Like for keeping weapons from clipping. I will investigate this. You wouldn't want the effect on the depth one though, right? Because I'll look into this. I'll see if I can figure out your setup, and see if I can figure a workaround. Anyway, thank you for filling me in on that. Actually, because I'll forget, and I'll be like, oh, I'll go back. Someone asked me to do something, and then I'll go back to the comments, and it won't be there. So I'm going to just copy this, paste it in here, and what was the first part? Hired guns. Bam, let's see. Save. Investigate this. Save. Alright. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day, and you guys have a great one. And, yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow.